Welcome to a play-by-play review. I'm your host, Henry, and this is going to be one of those stream of consciousness type deals, one of these episodes, because I didn't have too much planned. It's been like in my mind to try and do this for a couple of times now, of just kind of rambling on a little bit about, stuff I enjoy, stuff I've been up to lately, mainly like movies and shows and games that I've been watching and playing. Sports as well, a little bit. Obviously, I've been covering sports a lot as of late on this podcast, mainly baseball, a little bit of football as well. And I'm going to touch a little bit on both baseball and football. But overall, this is just going to be one that I'm just going to kind of go and see how far it takes me. And try and make it at least somewhat interesting. So I'm going to flash back slightly to earlier this month, as there was a big movie that came out, the Super Mario Galaxy movie, which I was extremely excited to see. And I did obviously see it. I saw it. So I think it came out back on April the 1st. So 3.5 weeks ago. Came out on Wednesday. I saw it on Sunday the 5th. So basically about 3 weeks ago from what will basically be today, when I probably end this video off, or episode. And I love that movie so much. If you have been following online at all about the Super Mario Galaxy movie, you would probably know that the reception to it was weird. The critical reception to it was not good, like movie critics and all that. It was like the first movie that came out a couple years ago was also not very well received critically. But I felt like this one was even more panned. And I'm not really sure why. It has its issues. It is really, really fast paced. Like a little too fast paced. But I don't think the pacing is as bad as people make it out to be. It's similar to the first movie, but I think it's like even a bit more breakneck, where it's just like there's not a lot of downtime, essentially. Like there are moments for sure. There are certainly moments, but a lot of it is like just moving it along, moving the plot along, like action event after action event after action event. And part of it's good. I do actually kind of like, I don't mind. I don't mind how this movie is paced. The action set pieces are fantastic. The fight choreography especially is insanely good. I was genuinely impressed by how well Illumination did with the fight choreography in this movie. I think it was a step up from the last movie. And the last movie was good. This movie just felt even better, especially the final fight. And I'll go into some more specifics in a second. But in terms of the flaws, at least, just to go over them first, this movie definitely... It could have used a bit more time to breathe here and there, especially for some character moments. Like we got a little bit between Mario and Peach, but outside of that, like there weren't too many character arcs. I would have liked a bit more time with Bowser and Bowser Jr. And a little bit more time even before Bowser reunites with his son, like with Bowser and the Mario Bros. Or Bowser with Peach. Like anything, honestly, with Bowser and Peach would have been nice because we didn't really get any of that too much. But even still, it wasn't bad. Also, just for reference, I am going to be spoiling parts of this movie. It has been out for a couple weeks now. It's also not really a spoiler-heavy type of movie. Like, there aren't really any big twists and whatnot. But yeah, just full be aware that I will be spoiling what comes up when I think about it. But it's still a very good movie. I do wish Rosalina was in it more. And I get why she's not. Like, she's the damsel in distress in this case, and obviously since she is incredibly powerful, kind of need to nerf her, and she's used more as like she's being used by Bowser Jr. to charge up his Omega Death Beam or whatever they call it. So it's unfortunate that we don't get to see more of Rosalina, since she's one of my favorite characters in the Mario series, and also I love that Brie Larson is voicing her because she seems to be a very big Nintendo fan. So it would have been nice to see a bit more of Rosalina, but maybe in whatever they do next in this sort of Mario cinematic universe, or whatever you want to call it, Nintendo cinematic universe, maybe we'll see more of Rosalina at that point. One character that was so Fox McCloud, just gonna not beat around the bush anymore. Fox McCloud, voiced by Glenn Powell. Why Nintendo was like just decided to spoil the fact that he's in the movie, I don't really know why. Like they're just like a week before the movie comes out, or it might have been even less than a week. They're just like release on Twitter is like, oh yeah, by the way, Fox McCloud's showing up in the movie. Like I think there was a leak that like spoiled that he was probably going to be in it, but it was like a shot of his like jacket from the movie at one point. Like it's basically a shot from behind him, pretty much. But then Nintendo's like, oh yeah, here's Fox McCloud, like full on Twitter poster of him, and then they just had, like released a teaser video with Glenn Powell like dressed up as Fox McCloud, and that teaser video is pretty cool and whatnot. But it's still, I would have liked to have been surprised about that because that would have been an insane reveal. But anyway, he was awesome in this. He might have actually been my favorite part of the movie. Fox was so much fun, and Glenn Powell did a great job voicing him. The 2D anime intro cinematic they had for Fox, where he's basically narrating his backstory to Peach and Toad. And he's like basically just narrating like, Star Fox and like Star Fox 64 pretty much is really funny. And just the random shot he has at Slippy too is really good because he's just like the whole point is that he's stranded in like the Mario galaxy or like the Mario universe essentially. Like his R-Wing accidentally like teleported through space and time because it had a malfunction. And he's like, yeah, that's what happens when you make a Toad your engineer. And it's like, come on, man, why you gotta do Slippy like that? He's just trying his best. But still, Fox is really fun because he's definitely like acts like a cool guy, and he's a cool guy. Like he's serious and a badass and whatnot. But at the same time, he's a total goofball. And he's like when his R-Wing is wrecked when they're on the dinosaur planet, and he's just sobbing over it. It's really fun. And then the best part of those is when he meets up with all the Lumas on the Common Observatory, and he basically just becomes their cool uncle, and they're all like teaming up with him. There's like a GIF that's been made of a shot in the movie essentially where Fox is like posing, where they're like planning to go assault the space junk galaxy and Bowser Jr.'s fortress and whatnot. And Fox is gonna, it's like Team Star Fox, we're gonna go provide you cover, and he's like does his pose, and then all of the Lumas like show up behind, like floating behind him, like half of them have little Star Fox jackets on as well. It's so cute and it's so good. I love it so much. The Star Fox fandom has been on fumes for a long time at this point, and they just got a huge shot in the arm. So hopefully Nintendo realizes that they can actually make Star Fox games again, because it's been way too long. And I also wouldn't mind, a Star Fox animated TV show or an animated movie. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, Fox was incredible in this movie. The whole cast was really good. Like people give a lot of flack to Chris Pratt for his performance of Mario, and I could definitely see it being a little bit better. He doesn't, I feel like, lean too much into the Charles Martinet version of Mario. He gives it more of a Brooklyn-y, like less campy, I guess, Mario. And that's kind of like same with Charlie Day as Luigi. Like he's not really leaning fully into the like Luigi voice. He's still like, you can definitely hear that it is Charlie Day voicing Luigi, but I think Charlie Day does a better job at like getting the character down for Luigi, where he is like he gets the like scared moments down really well, and just like the rambly when he's like super terrified. That Charlie Day does a really good job there. But I do think Chris Pratt gets a little more flack than he deserves as Mario. I think he's good. He's not. I still like Charles Martinet's performance better. Not that it's comparable, really, like two very different things. But I think Chris Pratt is perfectly fine as Mario. I just think people, I don't know. I don't know why people dislike his performance as much as they do. I find it more than serviceable. Like the whole cast, though, I think is good. Luis Guzman as Wart was really fun for the one scene he was in. That whole fight sequence with Peach in the like casino with all the ninjas was really cool. Just giving her a chance to shine with her umbrella, and it was really cute that Mario was the one who gifted her the umbrella at the start of the movie. That was really sweet, and then her just going ham with it against Wart, and like the entire Mario 2 cast was really cool. So like shout out there, because it's interesting how this is advertised as the Mario Galaxy movie, and I think it was apparently like that title was a little late in development, but at the same time, this is just this is a lot more than just a Mario Galaxy movie. Like there's definitely a lot of Galaxy aspects to it. Like the overall plot is Galaxy related with Rosalina. And like there's a lot of direct Galaxy references. Like, you know, Bowser Jr. with his big old alien saucer that is like the three lasers, cutting out and stealing Princess Peach's castle from the ground, which is like directly taken from the start of Galaxy 1. And then like, you know, Luminous turning into launch stars, and like the launch star sound effects is like the little details in this movie were on point. It was great. But this is also like, there's a lot of Mario Odyssey references, obviously the Mario 2 references as well. We had the toad suit, or like the frog suit that Luigi uses from, I think, Mario 3. It was just a lot overall. And in a good way. Like it was really cool. Also the Gateway Galaxy, which that is like one other big, like, I mean, the negative connotation is key jingling, but I'm saying it, I'm doing, in my mind, it is the Leonardo DiCaprio from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood pointing at the screen meme. And it's like, oh, I get that reference. Because the Gateway Galaxy was references galore. Since I guess it's like a central hub for like the universe kind of. And there's a lot of like, I think there's some Piantas there. There's the Ukikis, the monkeys. And like one of them steals Toad's baggage, and that's how Peach goes and finds Wart and whatnot, and Birdo as well. But then it also has, I forget what they're called. Well, there's a couple races from Mario Galaxy. It's like the like gear-headed guys from Galaxy 1 and 2 that like I know they're on like Battle Rock Galaxy in the first one. And they always have the like really annoying like blow up the junk with the bombs star. I hated that mission so much. And anyway, moving on. But they were there. They're like the maintenance guys pretty much, which was funny. But then also the like little like tree, like wooden, like blocky type of guys from Galaxy 2. I don't remember what they're called, but that was really cool to see. There's one of them that shows up in the second post-credit scene where Daisy shows up too. That was really cool. So I'm excited to see how Daisy fits into the NCU, as I'm going to call it. But also like just background and foreground stuff in the Gateway Galaxy. I'm pretty sure Samus's ship, her gunship was in there for a couple frames. I want to say the Blue Falcon was in there as well. There's also a ship that was basically shaped like a pair of Joy-Cons connected to like the Joy-Con holder, which is pretty funny. I think that's just in there just because it was, you know, Nintendo reference. But then we also got a very like in your face Pikmin reference too with the SS Dolphin. Or I don't even know if it was, I think it was the Dolphin. I don't think it was the President ship from Pikmin 2. I think it was the Dolphin that lands, and then just a bunch of red, yellow, and blue Pikmin pop out with the little Pikmin theme. That was really cool. No surprise that Pikmin become front and center for a cameo there, because Miyamoto is heavily involved in this, and he loves Pikmin. I don't know why he loves Pikmin so much, but Miyamoto loves Pikmin, so it's not surprising that they get a cameo front and center. The other big cameo was during the final fight between Mario, Luigi, and then Dry Bowser and Bowser Jr., which, by the way, Dry Bowser cameo, not necessarily cameo, but Dry Bowser appearance, that was really cool. I was pleasantly surprised to see that. But then when Luigi gets Bowser Jr.'s magic brush that Jr.'s been using the whole time, he paints Mr. Game & Watch, and I knew because I had been spoiled a little bit on Twitter I was trying to avoid spoilers as best I could. But I knew going into it that there was some kind of cameo in that final fight, and I didn't know what it was. So I was very pleasantly surprised to see Game & Watch. And I was just like, the whole time I was like, please hit a 9, please hit a 9, please hit a 9. And they didn't show that he rolled a 9 on his side B, but he hits Bowser with the hammer hit, his side B from Smash Bros. So I was thrilled. I'm like, it hit me right in the fan service bone, and I don't care if, you know, I am very much the target audience there. It's like, it is pure fan service. I do not care. I am happy. I loved it. I do not care at all what other people think. It made my day. It completely made my day in an already fun movie. His Game & Watch, like he was hitting all of his moves pretty much. It was great. And then Bowser Jr. summoning the Lord of Lightning from Mario Odyssey as well. That was really cool. Which also, like, complete, not necessarily side tangent, but going over to Mario Odyssey, why does the Lord of Lightning exist? Like, it is this giant dragon that looks like it belongs in Skyrim, and it just shows up in Mario Odyssey out of nowhere. It's so random as a boss fight. It's really fun, but it's like just this very photorealistic dragon. Like, I get they had a T-Rex already in that game, but it's just like random photorealistic massive dragon that you have to fight that just Bowser like has under his control or something. That was cool there. But anyway, Bowser's really fun in this. The dynamic he has with Bowser Jr. is great. Like him just being like, I don't know why he thought he was a bad parent, because like everything we see from him, he's like a great parent to Bowser Jr. And I love that Nintendo keeps up the fact that Bowser is like a prime dad role model to Bowser Jr. in both the movies and also like all the commercials that they do. Cause it's like whenever they do the parental controls videos that they animate, they always have Bowser and Bowser Jr. there, and it's always adorable. So I love that. Bowser Jr. also, I don't know if I like him or Fox McCloud more in this movie, because Bowser Jr., I was surprised at how like impressive of a threat he was. Like, I was really impressed with the balance they struck of making him, actually have like be a good, like dangerous presence while also still kind of being a bit of a goofball. And like, he takes his punches, he takes his licks here and there. He's not like too like maniacal. He's not too evil, but he's not too much of a joke either. I think the balance they strike there is really, really well done. Benny Safdie does a great job voicing Bowser Jr., where he's like on the cusp of being, like the Bowser level of like pure intimidation, but there's still a little bit of childishness. Yeah, let's go with that in there. And I think it works really well. Like his fight against Mario and Luigi as he's trying to, and also Yoshi's also fantastic in this movie. I'll get to him in a sec, but like his Bowser Jr. When he's fighting against Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi in Peach's castle as it's getting kidnapped essentially. That fight was so good. Like the fight choreography was so good. And then him basically playing Mario Maker on an NES controller in his lair as Mario and Peach are like going through the big old chasm with a bunch of traps and stuff. Like the really cheesy lines that they have, like Bowser when he's talking to his minions, he's like, he says like this rainbow road of life, I think is what he says. And it's just like, it's so dumb, but it's this kind of movie and I kind of like it. And same with Bowser Jr. going, prepare to meet your maker. And he just starts playing a Mario Maker level pretty much from his perspective. It's like, it's on the nose. It's a little too on the nose, but I kind of enjoy it that way for this type of movie. I want them to not be subtle in this movie. I want them to hit me over the head with a hammer, preferably Super Hammer from Donkey Kong for their references, because it's like, it's a Mario movie. Like, come on, what are you gonna expect? And it's so good. Like Donkey Kong, he didn't really appear in this movie. He just had like a brief flash cameo during the Yoshi flashback, but he's just chilling, working construction in Brooklyn. I love that for him. It's great. But Yoshi's fantastic. I love how he's intelligent enough where he's not just like a pet, but he's got the vibes of like a very, very comfy dog. Like he fits immediately in with the Mario Bros. Like he fits like a glove for their dynamic. Even with Toad, like Toad's a little jealous of Yoshi kind of hogging that like lovable sidekick role that he was in before. But to be fair, Toad gets most of his time, like he spends most of his time with Peach in this movie. Whereas Yoshi tags along with the Mario Bros. But Yoshi's just like every time, mostly with Luigi, like Yoshi and Luigi are just like wingmen together, and they just like the two of them just work so well, especially when they're like ribbing on Mario. Like when the scene where they're in their room essentially, and Mario's like getting nervous about like talking to Peach for her birthday, and Luigi's like, he does the when the moon hits the sky, like that song, and Yoshi's like right along with them. It's perfect. Like those two together are fantastic. One of the best gags in the movie also, because I'll probably stop rambling about this movie soon. I love this movie. It was so much fun. But it was right after the end, after everyone gets rescued, and it's like they're already like Peach and Rosalina reunited. They're sisters in this movie, by the way. Peach is Rosalina's younger sister, and all the Lumas are there, and Fox is there as well, and Mario, Luigi, and Yoshi are there, and they're all on top of like Bowser Jr.'s planet that's been turned into like grass and stuff thanks to Peach and Rosalina's powers and whatnot. And Lumas are like, can we see your castle, Princess Peach? Because like they've been read stories of Princess Peach for who knows how long, years probably, by Rosalina, because it's like a bedtime story that Rosalina always reads to them. And they're all like, yeah, castle, 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 and it's just immediate hard cut to the spot where the castle should be, but since it's been cut out by Bowser Jr. and crashed over in the Honey Hive Galaxy, there's just nothing there. And it's the reaction from all the Lumas, Peach and Rosalina, and I think Fox as well. They're all just jaw drop, like, where is it? And they're like, one of them is like, where's the castle? And they just look over to the Mario, Rose, and Yoshi, and Mario's like, I don't know. And we just discover, he's like, oh, well, it died. And then Charlie Day's delivery is so good, and Yoshi is just like nodding along. He's like, yep, that is what happened. It's so good. I love that joke so much. I'm so excited for when that movie comes out on digital and like the online spheres, like we get clips of it on YouTube and whatnot, and all the online spheres start talking about it again, because it's just fun. Like it's simple. It's maybe a little too simple. Like you probably could put more a bit of nuance in there, add like slow the pace down a little bit here and there. But like you don't really need to do too much, because it's a Mario movie. Like it hits what it needs to hit, I think, and it's just fun. It's just a ton of fun in my opinion, because like, you should just, like, if you're going to that movie thinking it's going to be, Interstellar or Citizen Kane. I know this is kind of a lazy take, I feel like, because I've seen it happen a lot, but I'm just going to repeat it anyway. Like, you're just going with the fact that, you're going in for a Mario movie made for kids. It's going to reference the crap out of the Mario series. And like, if you like the Mario series, you're probably going to like it, because it's just going to show what you like, pretty much. It's going to, all the musical cues and whatnot, all the characters having fun, little visual gags as well. Just like the dialogue's very fun. It feels like it's quippy enough, but not like too self-referential. I think it strikes a decent enough balance, the dialogue in that movie. And I think overall it's a very, very fun movie. And it's just, it deserves the praise that it gets, in my opinion. I'm very much biased towards it. And overall it is still good. I almost forgot to talk about Rob. Rob's also in there as one other big cameo, where he's the help desk attendant at the Gateway Galaxy. And the fact that he like turns so slowly when he's trying to point things out and just drives everyone crazy. It's great. And like Peach, especially when she just like randomly starts snapping and like freaking out. Like when her like royal facade cracks, essentially, it's great. But I will stop there. I will stop there. This movie's really good. I highly recommend watching it. It's just really fun. It's just really fun, I think. So I'll move on from a movie that I really enjoyed to a show that I really enjoyed. That is Mall Shadow Lord, because this show is so good, man. It's so good. So for those who do not know anything about this, Darth Maul, character who appeared in Star Wars Episode 1, Phantom Menace. He is the guy that looks like Satan a little bit. He's like the red and black with the horns and stuff. He's got the double-bladed lightsaber and the theme and the lightsaber duel that everyone loves from Episode 1. And he dies at the end of the movie originally, but then gets brought back in Star Wars: The Clone Wars in season 4, I believe. I'm pretty sure it was season 4. And he has since been a mainstay in a lot of these animated projects by Dave Filoni and crew. Did make a brief cameo in Solo: A Star Wars Story, since he was kind of the driving force behind Crimson Dawn, the pirate faction in that movie. And basically, Maul's character arc through a lot of the end of the Republic, early Empire days, is that he is a crime boss, essentially. Like he is, he originally goes, he originally tries to take revenge on Obi-Wan, and he sort of succeeds, then gets beaten back a bit, then tries to like create a pirate army, fails there, then goes and gets rescued by Mandalorians, one of them actually voiced by Jon Favreau, pre-Vizsla. Also, Bo-Katan. So if you've watched The Mandalorian, you know Bo-Katan. She's a major character there. She was originally part of Death Watch, which was like a Mandalorian terrorist group, essentially. And they rescued Maul and his brother Savage Opress. And there's a whole arc there where Maul basically assembles a bunch of criminal syndicates. So like the Pike Syndicate, the Black Sun Pirates, a bit of some of the Hutts as well. Just a lot of the underworld together to go and basically take over Mandalore, which he succeeds. He takes it over from Duchess Satine, who's Bo-Katan's sister, and Obi-Wan's lover. It's more, Obi-Wan was like open to the fact that he had feelings for her, but remained in the Jedi Order. But there's a point where he tells her, like, if she had said the word, he would have left the Jedi Order for her when they were younger, because they like almost fell in love when they were younger. Like, I think even before episode 1, maybe. Anyway. Eventually, this is in like season 5 of the Clone Wars. Maul winds up killing Satine in front of Obi-Wan. It's really, really tragic. A really good scene for like the heartbreak of it. And then Mandalore basically falls into chaos. And eventually, Sidious shows up since he's like seeing that Maul is getting a little bit too much power for his liking. Knocks Maul down a peg or 2 or 5, really. Also kills Savage. And then you get the comics with, I think it's Dark. No, it's not Dark Disciple. Might be Dark Disciple. It's what is one of them essentially, but it kind of like follows Maul after his defeat at Palpatine, but he's able to escape. That's also where we get introduced to Rook Kast and Gar Saxon. Kind of, I forget if Gar Saxon was at that point introduced in Rebels or not, but like 2 of the Mandalorian super commandos who follow Maul. But eventually, that kind of explains how he's still sort of in charge of Mandalore, because we flash forward in season 7 of Clone Wars where Maul is back on Mandalore, still doing his thing, still causing chaos there. And like the Mandalorian Civil War kind of is still going on. And so Ahsoka gets recruited by Bo-Katan to go and liberate Mandalore. And Ahsoka brings along part of the 501st with Captain Rex. And they have the Siege of Mandalore there. And Ahsoka beats Maul in a duel. Really, really well done duel there, because they did mocap for that. And it was awesome. That whole arc in Siege of Mandalore in season 7 of Clone Wars is so good. But after that, basically, Maul gets arrested, and then Order 66 happens. So everything kind of goes wrong. Maul escapes, and the ship that everyone's on crashes. Ahsoka and Rex make it out, but no one else does. That's at the end of that arc. And so Ahsoka and Rex go and start working with the rebellion. Meanwhile, Maul, basically, where Shadow Lord picks up not too long after the events of episode 3. I don't know exactly how long after this is. It's never really said. But Maul at this point has a small band with him, mostly of Mandalorians, including Rook Kast, who has a really good model now, because her model in Clone Wars was not the best. She looks a lot better in this one. She's basically his like direct lieutenant. Maul also has a pair of Zabraks as well, who I think are like brothers, and they're like kind of also his lieutenants. They're sort of like his chief enforcers. And then the rest of the Mandalorians, I think, are more mercenaries rather than like true Mandalorians. And so they're chilling on this planet called Janix. That's what it is. And they're trying, like, I guess it was a base of operations for a couple of crime lords who originally worked under Maul, and then started doing their own thing after Maul got arrested and like everything that happened with Order 66 and whatnot. So basically this, to start, has Maul basically exacting revenge on a lot of the crime lords who worked under him, who then betrayed him in his eyes by like not helping him out after after everything went down. So he's spending a lot of his time hunting them down and basically getting back what is owed to him. Meanwhile, you have the police chief of Janix, or not police chief, detective on Janix. I'm actually forget his first name. What is your first name? Hang on. Brander Lawson. There we go. Lawson is detective, voiced by Wagner Moura, who played Pablo Escobar in Narcos, as well as voiced the Wolf in Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Also was in, I believe, so he's also in Civil War. The movie came out a couple of years ago with, I think, Kirsten Dunst as well, and Nick Offerman, I'm pretty sure. And also, oh my God, what's his name? Played Todd on Breaking Bad. Jesse Plemons. There we go. Sorry about that. Took me a sec to remember his name. But Moro was also in a movie. I'm actually going to look it up right now. Was in a movie that I think was just nominated for Best Picture. The Secret Agent. That's what it was, I think. Yeah, and I think Moro was also nominated for Best Actor. Yeah, he was nominated for Best Actor at the Oscars this past year. So he voices the police detective there. He's sort of like, not necessarily the deuteragonist, but he's like the next highest up on the, like, well, one of the two, like Maul is the protagonist of this story in the sense that he is the main character. The next tier down is Lawson, and then a certain Jedi named Devin Azara, voiced by Gideon Adlon, who I don't know too well. She was in, let's see, her films include Blockers, The Mustang, The Craft Legacy, Sick, Miller's Girl. On television, she's played roles in The Society and The Thing About Pam. I don't know too much about any of those, unfortunately. Apparently she was in Criminal Minds for like an episode or two. Yeah, she was in there for an episode. Anyway, so Devin is a Twilight Jedi. She is Jedi Padawan. Her master is also in this, who's voiced by the Allstate guy, actually. Hang on, where is Dennis Haysbert, who does the, like, Allstate, are you in good hands? He's done a lot of other stuff as well, but I think that's where most people would know him from. But he voices the Jedi Master, who is this, like, slightly lizard-like dinosaur kind of Jedi. Looks pretty cool. I like his design a lot. And then Devin is the Twi'lek, who's like they're the, like, head tail people. But she's, like, basically being strongly hinted at, and also, like, not necessarily even hinted at, but it's like Maul wants her to be his next apprentice, because Maul, basically every time we've seen, like, after Savage gets killed, he's basically searching for an apprentice. And it's, like, clear that even though he, like, by the end of Rebels, when we see him, when he's trying to sway Ezra to his side, like, his motives might not be all good, but it's clear he's just incredibly lonely and just wants a friend. And just like not always for a good reason, because, you know, he wants to take revenge on everyone and probably kill a lot of innocent people and whatnot. Like, again, Maul is not a good person, but he is very lonely inside at this point. His life has not been fun at all. And so Gideon at this point is, or sorry, not Gideon's the actress, Devin at this point. She is the current one in line when this show is happening to be his next apprentice. Don't know if it's going to happen. Will be. Maybe we might get it like the end of the season. It is confirmed that we're going to get, I think, a season 2 of this at this point. Let's see. Let me double check. Season 2. I'm going to actually do second. Yeah, second season is in development. Okay, that's what I thought. So yeah, this season's going to run for a couple more weeks. I think it's going to end on May 4th. They're releasing 10 episodes in two episode batches every week. Started on the 6th of April. It's going to go to the 4th of May. So next 2 episodes, episodes 7 and 8, are going to get released in a day or two, which would be nice. And so there's a good chance that Devin will probably turn to the dark side towards the end of the season. A lot of people are theorizing that she might be in the canon version of Darth Talon at some point. For those who do not know who Darth Talon is, she was originally an idea theorized by George Lucas for, I guess, like the original sequel trilogy he had in his mind, I think, or the prequel trilogy. I forget exactly how this goes, but she's a Twi'lek Sith Lord. Darth Talon is, and that, like, his original idea never materialized because for whatever reason, but she got reintroduced, or I guess properly introduced, into Legends during the Star Wars Legacy comic series, which happened about like 120-ish years, 130-ish years after the events of the original trilogy, which, like, followed the descendants of the Skywalker and Solo family for the very, 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 very brief overview of how that whole family tree mess goes. So in Legends, just a side tangent here because I love Star Wars Legends. I'm going to talk about this for a little bit. So in Legends, Luke marries a woman by the name of Mara Jade. She was a former assassin for the Emperor, Force user, but basically kind of got brainwashed by him. And they wind up falling in love over the course of about like 9 or so years. They get married. They have, I believe, one child named Ben Skywalker. I'm pretty sure. Meanwhile, Han and Leia, they marry. They have 3 kids, Jason and Jaina Solo. They are twins. And then in the third one, Anakin Solo. I know Anakin Solo dies during the events of the Yuuzhan Vong War in the New Jedi Order series. And then Jason Solo turns to the dark side, becomes Darth Caedius, I believe. And then Jaina, she winds up having to kill Jason at some point. Some of these plot points are borrowed by the sequel trilogy and done not as well. But so Jaina, eventually, she marries a man by the name of Jagged Fell. He is the son of Baron Soontir Fell, who's this ace pilot of the Empire. He's sort of like the Red Baron of the Empire, who he married a woman by the name of, what's her first name? I think it's Sile Antilles. She's the like movie star celebrity sister of Wedge Antilles, the ace pilot of the rebellion. So there's like that whole dynamic between Wedge and Soontir or Baron Fell. And like that's a whole thing in like the Rogue Squadron comics and novels there, where they had that. Because Fell is an interesting character where he's like not really like a bad guy, but he's like kind of a bad guy. But that's a story for another day. But anyway, their son Jag marries Jaina. They wind up having a kid or two. But basically, their descendants eventually start like the Empire like 3.0 at that point, like the Fell Empire. It's a whole thing I do not want to get into. But essentially, the Legacy comics by that point, the Fell Empire is basically like the ruling power in the galaxy, kind of. I think there's also the Galactic Alliance, which is like a descendant of the New Republic, sort of. But it's like the Fell Empire is like not really evil either. They're like kind of good. I think they're more like neutral. Like same with the Galactic Empire, because like the Sith are also they're their own faction. They're back as always, because they never leave. But the Sith and the Fell Empire are not friends at all. Like they fight each other a bunch. And anyway, back to where they started. Darth Talon in this, she's introduced as like the second in command of Darth Krayt, who runs the Sith Empire at that point. But Darth Talon she has a design, a very, very skimpy design. I'll just say that. She is red-skinned Twi'lek with a red lightsaber, has like the black Sith tattoos as well. And so she is like, basically she's wearing like a swimsuit or like a bikini kind of, sort of. If you ever look up Darth Talon online, you might want to do a safe search if you are like prefer that. But she just has a very skimpy design. It's early 2000s. George Lucas also really loves Twi'leks. I'm just going to say that right there. But Talon is a very popular character, so that's why a lot of people, to loop back to Maul Shadowlord after the brief tangent there, it's why people really like, or the idea that Devin would in theory become Darth Talon, because people really like the character. And I think more than just for her looks, because Darth Talon's an interesting character because she has a very close dynamic with Cade Skywalker, I think is who it is. The like Luke's descendant, essentially, who's the main protagonist of the Legacy comic series. There's like a couple Skywalkers that get named. I'm pretty sure it's Cade. I know there's also a Cole Skywalker, but I think he's like Cade's father or something. I don't know. I never read those comics. I just kind of browsed a lot through Wikipedia on some of them here and there. But anyway, back to Maul Shadowlord. That's most of the main characters. We have a couple of Inquisitors. They've showed up. So Marok, who was actually introduced in whatchamacalls, it's the Ahsoka, that series, the live action series, where he was, I guess, like an undead version of him, controlled by Morgan Elsbeth, because when he dies, he just releases a bunch of Night Sister green magic puffy cloud stuff, I guess. But in this point, he's still very much alive. He is the first brother, so he's like one of the strongest Inquisitors. We're also getting another Inquisitor. I forget which number he is. He's like the third or fourth brother, but he showed up once in Tales of the Jedi, in the final episode with Ahsoka, where Ahsoka kills him there. But he's voiced by Clancy Brown, actually, which is cool. And he's got a really cool design where he's got this like bird-like mask, and he's like got these like claws as well. Really, really, really cool design. And he's going to show up presumably here in a moment, since right now it is just Merrick. And Merrick, like he was fine in Ahsoka, but he really got a touch up here. Like his aura went through the roof in this one, since he like just full on like slasher villain right here. He in his the episodes where he shows up, like he does like the Michael Myers like head tilt, and like, or like Jason Voorhees head tilt or whatnot when he's like stalking through a hallway. His duel with Maul and Devin is really cool. Like the fight choreography in this show is really good. The visuals in Maul Shadow Lord are off the charts. Since the Clone Wars art style as a whole has just shot up like a rocket. Like comparing this show to season 1 of the Clone Wars is like, these are visually two completely different shows. It's crazy. Like you could see as Clone Wars goes on, the quality of the animation gets significantly better, especially once you hit like season 3 and season 4. It like the jump up from like, I mean, even the jump up from season 1 to season 2 is pretty noticeable, but like I think season 1 to 3, they're pretty solid, but the jump from season 3 to season 4 is very noticeable, and it is very good. And then the jump from season 4 to season 5 is like even better. So like season 5, season 6, absolutely fantastic animation wise. Season 7 just makes it a little bit better. And then the Bad Batch, which is same production crew essentially, and happened pretty soon after season 7 of Clone Wars, it just continues to evolve it a little bit more. And it's same with all the Tales series, so the Tales of the Jedi Empire and Underworld, and hopefully whatever new one we're going to get here on May 4th, because they released those on May 4th. They are like the quality just gets a little bit better every time after really it hits season 5, and it's basically just, I wouldn't say perfection, but it's like kind of improving on perfection in the sense of like it's already like more than good enough by that time they hit season 5. Like the animation was really, really good by then, and they just keep improving it a little bit more each time, and it just gets a lot more refined. Maul Shadowlord just takes it in a completely new and even better direction, where they're like the visual style is very unique. It's a lot more like painted almost. Like it's a lot of they actually use a lot of like legitimate like matte painting backgrounds, which is crazy for an animated show. It's like almost feels like not necessarily watercolor, but it's like it's not always smooth, where you can like kind of tell the edges are like, you know, where the paintbrush ends sometimes. It's not necessarily watercolor, but it's like, it's got a very visual, like distinct style there. Like they actually use miniatures as well for some of the spaceships too, which is really cool. Like the behind the scenes stuff is fantastic to watch. Like one of the cool tidbits is that when Maul swings his lightsaber, you can actually hear Sam Witwer scream as Darth Maul sometimes, like to add on to the sound effect of it like whooshing. So it's not just the like humming whoosh of a lightsaber as it gets swung. It also includes like Maul's scream. So it's just like, it's so angry when he screams, or like when he swings his lightsaber. It's really cool. But yeah, there's added visual effects for when people use the Force too. It's just the blaster effects looks really cool. Like it's really visually stunning. It also is not shying away from being a pretty dark show overall. The violence is pretty well, like they're not shying away here. Like it's definitely a bit more mature than I'd say the Clone Wars is, because we're not following a good guy here. Maul is not a good person. But it's overall really cool. And I realize I've rambled on about this show too for far too long. I'm not going to spoil on everything that happens in this one, because A, it is still ongoing, and B, you should really go watch the show. But basically the long and short of this is that the plot is unfolding very quickly and very enjoyably so far. Like the end of episode 4, when the Empire shows up, the remix of the Imperial March as the Star Destroyer is like looming over Janix is just fantastic. Like it works so well. And overall it's just like this show is just hitting on all cylinders right now. And I think it's just gonna get even better. Like this show is very well received, and I feel like all of the flack that Filoni and his crew gets for the live action stuff that he does, and his like the Mandoverse essentially, all the Mandalorian, basically all the Disney Plus shows, that are Star Wars that are not the Acolyte and Andor, because those are different teams that did those two. Like all the rest, so like Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, and it might actually be just those two. Now that I think about it, I feel like I'm forgetting one, but like those two. But basically, Mandalorian, Book of Boba Fett, and whatnot, and Ahsoka as well. That's the third one that I was missing. Those are all made by Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau. Dave Filoni, who's been the showrunner for Clone Wars, Rebels, Bad Batch, and Maul Shadow Lord. His track record for live action has not been, spotless. It's got some misses in there. Obi-Wan Kenobi as well. But his animated stuff, he is really good at doing animated work for Star Wars. And he worked also on Avatar: The Last Airbender as well. So that was really good there. But yeah, this show's just really good, all things considered. And it's not the only Star Wars thing going on right now. And at least for me, obviously there's The Mandalorian and Grogu coming out in about a little less than a month now at this point. Speaking of that live action, like, Mandoverse, that I'm looking forward to that. The trailers look fine enough. I'm excited to see Sigourney Weaver. I'm excited to see Jeremy Allen White as Rada, which would be pretty funny. Not the first character he's played in Star Wars over the past couple of years. He was in, or actually, no, it's not. Wait, no. I just realized I got it wrong. Hang on one sec. Jeremy Allen White. Yeah, so I got it mixed up because Jeremy Allen White is on the show The Bear, which I have heard is really, really good. By the way, like, incredibly good from what I've heard. I know my mom's a huge fan of it, but Jeremy Allen White is on The Bear, and he's one of the main characters in that. I think he's the main character, but like the other main character is played by Ebon Moss-Bachrach, or Bachrach. Bachrach. I think that's how you pronounce it. But anyway, so those two are the main characters in that. And I got confused for a second in my mind because Ebon plays a character in Andor. That's what I was thinking of. He plays, hang on, what is the name of his character? It is Arvel Skeen. He's in the oh my god, what's the name of the planet? The episodes 4, 5, and 6 of season 1. It is the heist arc, essentially. He plays the shady character who Cassian kills at the end of that arc, who's on the heist team. But anyway, that's why I got confused. I said Jeremy Allen White I don't think he's started anything Star Wars yet, but he's going to be playing Rada the Hutt, who it originally appeared in the Clone Wars movie as a child that Anakin and Ahsoka have to rescue on Teth from Asajj Ventress. So it's interesting to see him now as like a gladiator Hutt. So that should be fun there. I'm curious to see how that goes. But anyway, I've also started up the Thrawn Ascendancy trilogy of audiobooks as my latest audiobook for Soiree. I got finished. So I guess since I did my video back in February on all the Star Wars books that I've gone through, I have done, I believe, only 3 since. Because I had ended off with Battlefront Twilight Company at the end of February. And so I've done the 2 Clone Wars Gambit books, Clone Wars Gambit Stealth and Clone Wars Gambit Siege. They are a duology there. They're all right. Not my favorite. They had good moments, like the Anakin and Obi-Wan banter and all the conversation they had with each other. Those were good. And like getting a lot of Bail Organa was pretty cool. I liked that. Other than that, it was, I had my issues with it. I feel like they made Lock Durd a bit too evil in that story. Like he's a bit too sadistic for my liking. But anyway, they're fine. They're fine stories. Then I also got through Catalyst, a Rogue One novel. So it was the prequel novel essentially to Rogue One that was actually written like while the movie was being filmed. And apparently it was a nightmare to write because of all the reshoots and rescripts that Rogue One had to go through. So I do not envy James Luceno there. But Catalyst was also kind of fine. It felt like a lot of nothing happened in a sense. And it's a little awkward, like reading it now, so many years after Rogue One came out. And it's clear that I feel like not necessarily the characterizations for Galen and Lyra Urso, who are kind of the main protagonists, and also Krennic, who's sort of the main antagonist, a little bit, not really an antagonist, but anyway, like the fact that Galen and Lyra barely show up in Rogue One itself, and also it just feels like I don't know, it's like it was a little off, and the plot. Because it's basically a lot of it is Galen working, like Krennic persuading Galen to work for the Empire on the Death Star, though he doesn't know that it's the Death Star. He just thinks it's like an energy project pretty much. And it's like Krennic trying to persuade Galen to work there, and then Galen slowly figuring out that like his research is being weaponized and whatnot. It's a longer book than it should be, essentially, because there's not a lot that goes on in it that is like overall pretty impactful. It feels like a lot of padding here and there. But like there's definitely moments that I like in it. Krennic's good in that one, but it was okay in my opinion. But I'm going back to Timothy Zahn. I'm going back to Thrawn as well, because I did his new Thrawn trilogy, the Imperial trilogy, back in the fall last year, or more like the winter, I should say, which were really good. I really love that. Thrawn Treason especially. I've already talked about it on this podcast. I did a whole episode on that trilogy. That was really good. So this is the prequel trilogy to that, actually, though written later. So it is Chaos Rising, Greater Good, and Lesser Evil, which were 2020 and then 2021 for Greater Good and Lesser Evil. Chaos Rising was 2020. And these take place like pre-Clone Wars. This is while Thrawn is still in the Chiss Ascendancy before he goes and eventually joins the Empire. So it's a lot of Thrawn's backstory, essentially. And yeah, they're like, I'm a couple hours into the first audiobook. It's already really good. It's just Timothy Zahn really knows how to write Thrawn, and it's just like getting to explore the Chiss Ascendancy like in depth for I feel like the first time. I think he was probably pretty excited about that because the Chiss Ascendancy has been something that we've heard of a lot more than I think we've seen as Star Wars fans over the past like 30 plus years since it's been introduced. Like actually at this point, 45 years at this point since it was introduced in 91, I think. But yeah, it's just really good. I've been enjoying that, but I will talk about that trilogy later when I finish it, probably in like a month or two. So I think that'll do it for Star Wars stuff, which this has already gone on significantly longer than I was expecting. So I will briefly touch on gaming stuff and honestly, and sports as well. I will speed through this because I was not expecting me to take 52 minutes to just talk about the Mario Galaxy movie and then Star Wars. But hey, that's just kind of what I do. I tend to yap for way too long about stuff. But anyway, so gaming wise, big thing is that I streamed all of Super Metroid on my YouTube channel, Henry the Host. It is all one word. You can find this podcast there because I'm going to plug it every time. And yeah, I streamed my Let's Play. Well, I guess, yeah, it is a Let's Play, but it was more just my playthrough of that game. Since I had never played in Super Metroid before, I had played all of the other mainline Metroid games. I basically 100%ed all of them. Technically not Fusion. And then I also hadn't played through Other M, but we don't talk about Other M because it sucks. But like I beat Zero Mission, Samus Returns, Fusion, Dread, and then all 4 of the Prime games. So I was, I very much well-versed in Metroid at that point. And Super, which is the one that a lot of people regard as the best Metroid game and also one of the best games of all time, was the one that had eluded me for the longest time because I didn't have NSO, Nintendo Switch Online, for a while. I never had it while I had my Switch 1. I only got it when I got my Switch 2. So I decided to try it out, and I enjoyed it. Like you can hear my thoughts as well, and when I talk about it, when I get to the credits in Super Metroid, I just moved my chair and it's very squeaky at the moment. I wonder if that picked up on the mic, but I like Super Metroid. I would have been curious to see for myself how my opinion would have differed had I played Super Metroid first, or like maybe my first or second one, instead of the last one that I played of the proper Metroid games. Because I liked it. It was not my favorite. I can see why it's really good. Like it definitely pioneered the formula of plopping you in a world that is open, and like doesn't really give you any direction at all. Like there is like no direction in this one. There it is like you gotta figure it out through context clues pretty much, or just trial and error. Because there's no like there's nothing telling you where to go pretty much. Like there's things you can see. It's like, oh, this looks important and whatnot. Like mainly the big old the entrance to Torian, which is the final area of the game. But it's like you see that it's like, oh, you got to beat 4 bosses to do it. But actually finding Kraid, Ridley, Dragon, and Phantoon is like you got to work on that on your own. And I didn't go into Super Metroid completely blind. Like I'd watched the run of my guys let's play of that, and I'd seen like speed runs of the game as well. But like a lot of the details I did not remember. Like points of it I did remember, but not everything essentially. And so I was excited. I was excited going in. The controls took a bit to get used to. Samus is really floaty in the game. Like jumping was a little awkward because it's like sometimes you would jump and you would basically jump without rolling. There's like a rolling jump where it's like you're jumping in like diagonally essentially, and Samus does a flip, and it gets you a little bit more height. And eventually that is also how you do the screw attack when you get the screw attack, and also the space jump when you get the space jump. And space jump is really annoying to get the timing down, and that is true for every game that I played with a space jump in. But it took a while to get used to the controls. Also having to cycle through your arm cannon, then missiles, super missiles, power bombs, X-ray scope, and grapple beam all on one button and through a cycle. I'm glad they got rid of that. I'm also glad they got rid of the run button because they did not need a run button. I feel like the controls for what they had to work with the Super Metroid were fine enough, but I'm glad that they improved it over time with future installments. But yeah, the atmosphere is really good. The soundtrack is fantastic. I'm like the Brinstar Jungle area is one of my favorite songs in like all of Metroid. It's really good. The boss fights were nice as well. I was surprised at how like not actually that difficult some of them were, especially Ridley. Like if you watch my stream, I didn't go into Ridley with full health or full items, and I beat Ridley pretty easily, if I'm not being honest. And I've always struggled with Ridley in like every other game. Like Zero Mission, I think I did all right against him, but like Prime 1, that Ridley fight was a nightmare. It was rough. Like Prime 3 as well, he was tough there, but it's really the Prime 1 fight that was, oh my god, that Ridley fight was crazy. It really soured my experience at the end of Prime 1 of the artifact quest, then the Meta Ridley fight, which I did not like, and then the Metroid Prime fight at the end, which I did not like even more. I really did not like that fight. And like the Impact Crate, I love Metroid Prime 1. It's really good, but the ending section of it, I'm not a fan of at all. It was a slog completely. But I in the end, I was just, for Super Metroid, I was surprised at how easy Ridley was. I did know the Dragon strat of using the grapple beam to attach to one of the like electrical outlets to quick kill him. So that was that there. I probably would have struggled a lot more on Dragon regularly. But like Phantoon, I beat first try. Kraid, I think I died twice. I'm pretty sure. I know I died at least once, but I went in like half full. I think I died to Crocomire once. But I also went in with like no health or items. So it was like, I didn't realize it was a Crocomire fight. And I went and was like, oh crap, this is Crocomire. Okay. And then I also died to the first Chozo statue, but I was like, I had no idea how to control the game. But outside of that, like I beat Phantoon first try. I beat all the other mini bosses first try. I beat Mother Brain first try. Mother Brain was also a lot easier than I expected, if I'm being honest. Which I think I might also chalk up a little bit more to my experience, because I wasn't necessarily dreading Mother Brain going into it, but I had really bad experiences with both of the GBA final bosses in Zero Mission and Fusion, and I'm going to chalk part of that up to my lack of or less experience compared to now when playing Metroid when I was playing those, because those were my I At that point, I'd only played through Prime 1 and Dread. And even then, I'm not sure if I'd finished Dread when I played through. I think I'd finished Dread when I started playing through Fusion and Zero Mission. I might have also beaten Prime 2 at that point. Actually, I think I did beat Prime 2 at that point. But I was also playing both those games on emulator and using keyboard instead of a controller. So I think the controls weren't exactly, the proper controls. But I didn't have too many problems using keyboard through most of the game. The Omega Metroid fight at the end of Fusion was it was just, part of that was controls where it was like the keybind to shoot diagonally and be stationary at the same time I had to like really contort my fingers for that. And having to aim diagonally to hit the Omega Metroid. It was a little like, it was frustrating there, but my real problem was with the Mecha Ridley fight at the end of Zero Mission. I hated that fight so much, and that wasn't even because of the controls. It was because, annoyingly, if you do 100% items in Zero Mission, Mecha Ridley gets a massive spike in his damage and health. For some reason, I guess to balance out the fact that you're have full items and whatnot and full E-tanks, but he hits for 4 E-tanks a hit or something like that. It felt insane and it takes so long to kill. My bigger problem though was that the arena you fight him in is absolutely tiny. You have basically no room to dodge. You have to basically just space jump in the corner of the room to avoid 90% of his attacks. It's just not a fun boss fight because you're basically you're spending 3/4 of it just hopping in place just hovering in place using space jump in the top left corner of a really tiny room as Mecha Ridley will swipe his claws at you, and then you just drop back down and just pump him full of super missiles because he's pretty much stationary the whole time. It's not a good boss fight in my opinion at all. Mother Brain is at least there's a bit more to it, and obviously there's the 2 phases, well technically 3 phases because you fight Mother Brain first in the jar. And then you fight her in her dinosaur form. And it's you can outlast that until you get to the scripted part. And then, the baby happens, then you get hyper mode, and then you just go ham on Mother Brain, and that part's awesome. So I like, even if Mother Brain is kind of stationary, it's a significantly better fight than Mecha Ridley. I genuinely despise that fight. One of the worst boss fights in the game, in my opinion. Luckily, Dread, as my favorite Metroid game, has the best boss fight in all of Metroid. The spoilers for Metroid Dread, by the way, the Raven Peak fight at the end of Metroid Dread is so good. I love that fight so much. Quick side tangent to Metroid Dread here. It has my favorite item in the game in the Flash Shift, which is basically a short range sideways teleporter that you can use up to 3 times. It's a dodge function essentially, and it also you can cross gaps with it. It makes every fight so much more fun. And Ravenbeak, who essentially has your arsenal, but bigger and stronger, dual. I remember a point where we basically dual flash shifted at the same time, and it was so cool. And just that whole fight is so good. Having to avoid his charge beam shots and his not necessarily power bombs, but his flash ship command grab stuff. And all it. That fight is so good. I might have to go boot up Metroid Dread again, just go play that fight because it's fantastic. It's just so well done. I love Metroid Dread. I want another 2D Metroid game soon because Mercury Steam did a really good job on that game. It just needs a better soundtrack because Dread's soundtrack is not the best. But anyway, TLDR, I like Super Metroid, but it's not my favorite. I would probably put it above Fusion and on par with Zero Mission. I'm not sure I think I might put it above Zero Mission now that it's been a few days since I beat Super Metroid. There are parts of Super Metroid I did like, mainly Meridia. I hated Meridia. It was so boring and so tedious to get through. But outside of that, I enjoyed Super Metroid. And Fusion, or not Fusion, for Zero Mission, got there eventually. I liked the original part of it where you're going through, you're just playing Metroid 1, but updated. I like that part a lot. I don't mind the stealth section of it in the post game. It drags on a little too long for my liking, but then the section after that where you have your power suit again and all the power-ups, and you're going through the space pirate mothership, and basically like a regular Metroid game. That part's really fun, but then it's the mech really fight again, or at the end, that really sours me there. So I think that might knock Zero Mission down under Super Metroid, with Super Metroid being my second favorite of the 2D Metroid games behind Dread. I think I'd put Samus Returns at the bottom just because it's too linear. I do like what Mercury Steam did for what they had to work with. Just Metroid 2 is not a great game overall. Too linear. The boss fights, I appreciate what Super Metroid, or not Super Metroid, what Samus Returns did to add some more boss fights that are not just Metroid but slightly different for the dozenth time. But it's just it's way too linear. The environments are kind of whatever, and like visually it's okay. It's not my favorite visually or visual style Metroid wise, and the melee counter is a deservedly criticized in Samus Returns, and it gets fixed in Dread, so it's fine. It was definitely like I was just kind of whelmed by Samus Returns essentially. But yeah, that'll do it for the Metroid ramble. And I think now, let's see, did I have anything else? That was it. That was really it game wise. I'm probably going to start Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade on stream on next Thursday, or this coming Thursday, essentially, the 30th of April. And then otherwise, FTL Multiverse, I'm still playing that. I just completely fumbled the bag on my most recent run. I'm very upset about it. But anyway, I have not yet reached the Nexus there. I have beaten the One Who Rhymes once. I've gotten to him twice on Chaos Mode. I played, I think, Chaos Mode like 4 times. Died once before I got to the end of the sector once. Beat the One Who Rhymes. Technically, that wasn't Chaos Mode, but I was using the Multiverse flagship. Beat the One Who Rhymes with that one because that ship is just stupid. That's how I unlocked Chaos Mode. And then I got to the One Who Rhymes once with the gnome and then died very quickly. I think I was using the augmented ship, and it was not a good idea. And I died quite horribly there. But then I also did a Chaos Mode run in, what ship was it? It was the Obelisk ship that's like really good. That I think it's like technically the cruiser you get when you talk with Withers at the end of the true ending. I think that's the ship you unlock there. And it's like, I actually wound up taking it. I was trying to take it and do Nexus Chaos just for the fun of it, because that ship's good enough, I think, to do it. And I think it was that I didn't wind up getting a Hector sale that I couldn't find there to go try and get to the Nexus entrance, unfortunately. So I wound up instead just going to the true ending, just going to the Obelisk ending and doing the true ending instead, which is actually an achievement you get, where I think it's like the super failed challenge, which is kind of funny. And I beat the true ending there and actually got my highest score now with that ship, because I was rolling in it, that run essentially. I got like 9,000 score because I was playing on normal. It was really good. And yeah, so that's that there. Very quick rundown of sports here, because I've talked about this a lot over the past couple of days as they've been happening. So the draft happened this past weekend, just ended a couple hours ago, actually. Well, more than a couple hours ago at this point. But day 3 of the draft ended. Commanders got Sonny Styles in the first round, which I was very, very happy about. And also a couple good players they got. Antonio Williams, Clemson wide receiver on day 2. Then they got Tennessee edge rusher, I think Josiah Josephs, I think is his name, who's apparently like a huge steal for them there, which I like a lot. They really needed some edge depth there. So I like that. Then they got Penn State running back in the 6th, who's like a short yardage guy, like goal line situation, which would be nice because they don't really have that style of running back at the moment. Then they also got Michigan State center, which I was super happy about at pick 209. And I think that's actually another kind of pretty big steal there, which I was really happy about because they needed some interior line depth significantly. And then they drafted the backup quarterback out of somewhere. I don't think it was Stanford, but it was. Hang on one sec. I gotta go. It was Athan. What's his last name? It's something Greek. Is his last name? Athan. Hang on. Commanders. Draft picks 2026. That's probably a faster way to do it, just because I don't remember what his last name starts with, but it is Kaliak Manis out of Rutgers. That's what it is. So he's backup quarterback there, which I'm okay with that pick. It's whatever. He's clipboard holder and whatnot. Because they have Marcus Mariota, obviously, still on the roster. I'm pretty sure, at least. And yeah, they did re-sign him. But I think he's only re-signed for a 1-year deal. And so it's, in theory, no more Josh Johnson at this point. Now, I think Josh Johnson signed elsewhere now. But, you really hope he does not see the field. Respectfully, I hope he does not see the field for the Commanders unless it is like a couple years down the line and it's like a blowout in favor of the Commanders. And he gets to come in and take a couple snaps in the blowout, essentially. But I'm fine enough with a backup quarterback pick there. I would have liked DB at some point there, but they did sign, I know already they signed an undrafted DB and another wide receiver. So it is what it is there. But the draft as a whole was pretty crazy in a good way. Like Jeremiah Love went 3rd overall, which is kind of wild. And then Carl Tate went 4th overall. Ty Simpson went to the Rams at pick 13, which is crazy. Then Carson Beck went to the Cardinals in the 3rd round. Drew Aller went to the Steelers in the 3rd round. And then a couple of Navy guys got drafted in the 7th, so I was super happy about that. It was, I forgot the defensive lineman's name, but Eli Heidenreich got drafted to the Steelers. And he was actually there in Pittsburgh because he was from Pittsburgh, and he was there on day 3, like in his dress uniform as well, which was so cool. So he got to walk out on stage and Goodell was giving him a hug and the crowd was going wild because he was a Steelers pick. I was so happy about that because I'm a Navy football fan as well. And Heidenreich was insane for them this year. So I was kind of hoping the Commanders actually were going to draft him, but instead the Steelers did. And that was really cool. So I was super happy about that. Then finally, to quickly round this off here, baseball news, just for today, at least, because it's kind of crazy today. Oh yeah. How's my fantasy team doing? Also, I'll check that after, but, the Red Sox, so the Orioles won 10-3 over the Red Sox yesterday. I was streaming that game, so that was crazy. They hit 6 home runs. Trevor Rogers, their Orioles ace, started today against Garrett Crochet, the Red Sox ace today. And of course, Trevor Rogers puts up an absolute stinker, and the Red Sox score 17 runs in the game. They win 17-1. And yet at the same time, Alex Cora and like half the Red Sox coaching staff gets fired, which is absolutely crazy. So yeah, that was something. So they're going in with now an interim manager in the 3rd game of a series, in a split series at the moment between the Orioles here. So that is something that is going to be talked about a lot tomorrow. Well, now it's technically today, but you know what I mean. So it should be interesting there. And yeah, that is baseball at the moment. I'm gonna talk about baseball more on Tuesday. And otherwise, though, I think that's everything that I've covered really of like what's been going on lately. I'm excited for Mandalorian and Grogu. I'm excited for the Mortal Kombat 2 movie. I might have to go see that in theaters because I love Carl Urban. He's great in everything he does. Him being Johnny Cage is going to be fun. And I like the first one. I haven't like watched it fully all the way through, like uninterrupted. I've just caught it on TV a couple times. And I've seen like most of it all the way through. And it was fine, but I think 2 is going to be better. I hope, at least. Not that 1 was bad, but I hope 2 is going to be better. And then same with the Street Fighter movie that's going to come out in a couple months. It's going to be like very so bad it's good type of movie. Although I cannot take Cody Rhodes seriously as Guile. It just does not work for me. I like too much suspension of disbelief, or the suspension of disbelief is not there essentially. It does not work for me. I think he's gonna be fine as Guile. I'm not gonna poo poo and whatnot, but it's just, for me personally, I cannot see Cody Rhodes as anyone but Cody Rhodes essentially. And it's just kind of funny there. And yeah, but otherwise, otherwise, movie-wise, I'm excited for Doomsday that's coming out in December. So Avengers Doomsday and Dune Part 3. I'm so stoked for Dune Part 3. And yeah, that's mostly it. Hopefully when June rolls around, we get a Nintendo Direct and we get a ton of announcements because I really want, I want to know when Fire Emblem Fortunes Weave comes out, and I want another Xenoblade game to come out soon. That would be really cool. Yeah, that should be it, I think, because I could still probably ramble on about something else, but I'm good. I'll stop here. So yeah, next episode will be on Tuesday. That will be MLB recap of week 5, I guess, of the MLB season. And then otherwise, I will do another episode probably on the draft at some point. I might try and rope one or both of my brothers in since we're all Commanders fans and we might want to talk about that. I might try and do that. Maybe that's for next Saturday. And yeah, that's the plan now, because otherwise there's nothing really to talk about in the NFL, because now we're firmly in the NFL dead period from like now until July when training camp starts. So yeah, that's that there. There's probably some NFL news I could cover, but trade wise, there was Jonathan Grenard got traded to the Eagles and Tyree Wilson got traded to the Saints. I think those were the only big draft day trades involving players. So yeah, that's it. That'll do it. Stream wise on my YouTube channel, it's going to be Final Fantasy 7 and then Orioles Yankees next week. So tune in for that. Otherwise, that's it. I got some other stuff planned for YouTube, like videos and shorts wise, the usual there. So yeah, that'll do it. Thank you very much for listening.